As a result of the asteroid hitting on land, Chile, Russia experienced an immediate impact. A total of $33 million in damage was caused, 7,000 buildings were destroyed, and 15 people were injured. The meteorite was only 112 feet across and weighed the same as the Eiffel Tower. But what if that meteorite was bigger, like 330 feet in diameter? The big rocks, like the 6.2-mile or 10-kilometer rock that wiped out the dinosaurs, came once every few million years. They bring cataclysmic and world-altering danger to the animal kingdom. The ones that scientists fear the most are the size of a soccer field. Why? Well, asteroids hit the Earth constantly. For example, every day about 100 tons of dust and sand land on Earth from space. But they're so small we barely see them. Even the big asteroids, like the ones the size of an average car, hit the Earth every year. But why don't we hear about them? That's because they burn up in the atmosphere due to the dense air friction. The mesosphere acts as a giant grinder that pummels asteroids that would otherwise make it to Earth. But there are rare asteroids that hit the Earth every 2,000 years or so. They are 5 times larger than the asteroid that hit Russia on February 13, 2013. So what would happen to the Earth if one of those asteroids hit us? Well, first of all, we need to realize that an asteroid of this size would likely cause little damage. Why? Because only 3% of the surface of the Earth is populated. This means that out of the 100 asteroids bound to hit Earth, only 3 of them would make it to a major town or a densely populated area. Often it will land in the ocean since 2/3 of the Earth's surface is covered in water, and those that do make it will probably land in some desert or an uninhabited forest. The radius of the impact would smash that like button just like you should if you haven't done so already. But no, in all seriousness, it would be 2 miles or 3 kilometers. Since the meteorite is traveling at a speed of 30 kilometers per second, it would cross the mesosphere in about 3 seconds and hit. The impact would cause a massive fireball to erupt from the ground, consuming everything in its path in that 2-mile or 3-kilometer radius. But the impact of the shockwave would be 4.5 miles or 7 kilometers in diameter, meaning the houses and buildings in the area would suffer massive damage if this type of meteorite were to hit a city like downtown Manhattan, New York. Well, aside from the hundreds of billions, perhaps even trillions of dollars in property damage, it would also wipe out 2.5 million people. Since New York is the major financial hub of the world, a global panic would ensue and it would probably be a major recession. That's why a meteorite of that size hitting New York would cause irreparable damage. To make matters, we don't know what the rock would be made of. The giant 330 feet rock could bring radiation and the city would have to be evacuated. But what if it was worse? Like a lot worse. What if after 66 million years, the 6.2-mile or 10-kilometer meteor was to come back? After all, they do come back after millions and millions of years, and so far 66 million have passed. Statistically speaking, it is possible. So what would happen to the Earth if the asteroid that wiped out the dinosaurs and changed the set world order hit the Earth again? Well, most of the rocks coming to Earth from space were formed about 4.6 billion years ago. They're what's after our solar system formed. Scientists like astrophysicists study these rocks extensively because they could reveal something groundbreaking, but not if the size of the asteroid is 6.2 miles wide. At that point, we would like the meteor to move as far away from us as possible. The meteor would be roughly the size of Mount Everest, so this would be a modern-day cataclysm. Luckily, most of the asteroids in our solar system orbit between Jupiter and Mars. Thanks to Jupiter's gravitational pull, most of these small asteroids can't form into a larger body. So the first thing we would like to know about the asteroid is, can the Earth do something? First of all, NASA is constantly observing space with its numerous telescopes and satellites. So we would know about the asteroid as soon as its orbit crossed Earth's orbit. In fact, NASA has a term for these asteroids called NEO, or near-Earth objects. These NEOs have been tracked for some years and their orbit is uncertain. In other words, there are a lot of these asteroids, but we don't know if any of them will cross the Earth or absorb. For example, scientists discovered one such asteroid in 2004, and we know with certainty that in December, the name of the asteroid will collide with Earth on April 13, 2029. If it were to hit Earth in 7 years, this would be the largest meteor to hit Earth since the cataclysmic one that wiped out the dinosaurs. Its course has been tracked, and it's said that the asteroid will hit 310 miles west of Santa Monica and plunge into it. It would reach a depth of 3 miles or 4.8 kilometers and create a cavity in the ocean 3 miles wide. That cavity would then explode. This will create a 5-story high tsunami that will wipe out the entire west coast of the United States. But back to the cataclysmic 6.2-mile 10-kilometer meteor. As we've already said, an asteroid this size would enter Earth's orbit in less than 3 seconds. Let's imagine the less severe of two scenarios and assume that the meteor would fall into the ocean. Not only will the asteroid form a giant opening in the ocean, but it will also probably reach the bottom. The explosion would cause 3-mile or 5-kilometer tall tsunamis to form, and they would cross the oceans at speeds never seen before. If the meteor fell at moderate depths, then the size of the wave would be 1,000 feet or 300 meters tall, and in shallow depths it wouldn't be over 300 feet or 100 meters. Still, any of these tsunamis would be more than enough to wipe out towns, seashores, and entire continents. Any surviving humans, supposing there are any, would be back to the Dark Ages in a secondary imaginary situ. The meteor hits a continent upon impact. It will create a 62-mile or 100-kilometer wide crater with a depth of 12.4 miles or 20 kilometers. The power of the impact would be so vast that a giant explosion would obliterate and disintegrate everything. Within a 1,000-mile or 16-kilometer radius, a massive shockwave would be felt halfway across the globe. Every human, animal, and plant would be killed instantaneously. Further out, the fiery inferno will engulf the trees in flames. Everyone on the continent would die just a few hours after the impact. The Earth would begin to change. Earthquake scales will measure, or 9 on the Richter scale, and they will consequently destroy every other remaining building on the planet. But this is just the beginning. All of this tectonic activity would cause massive landslides. Areas that were once stable would start to move. Entire cities would begin sliding on the Earth's surface, like boats on the water. Volcanic and supervolcanic eruptions would follow. Lava would be ejected from them. The impact would fling fist-sized rocks into the sky, and a day later they would return. Meteor rains would occur across the globe, which would cause a lot of death and suffering. There would be massive wildfires all across the Earth, and the temperature of the Earth would raise to around 900 degrees Fahrenheit. This would make the planet a giant oven and cook every remaining life form that wasn't killed by the giant. The only people to survive are the ones that have underground shelters to protect him against all of this outside. Everything would be covered in ash, and those animals and humans that didn't find shelter would suffocate. Ash and dust would cover the Earth. The sun would be blocked, so no photosynthesis means no food. This would kill about 75% of the animal life on the planet. Mass extinction is an inevitability. An ice age winter would occur for the next 5 to 10 years, and after the ice age is over, there would be extremely hot summers. The ozone layer would be completely destroyed, and it could take tens or 1100s of years to repair. Thousands of years will pass before the Earth recovers from the mass extinction of all life on Earth. Well, that's all we have for you today. Leave your opinion in the comments section. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss an upload and you can enjoy the excellent content I send your way.